Now, Michigan Reimagined with Chris Buck.
So, the Michigan State University Federal Credit Union, or MSUFCU, is a financial institution that many Michiganders are familiar with, but what you may not be familiar with is their desk drawer fund. Here to discuss the fund and its mission and how it benefits our community is the Chief Community Development Officer for MSUFCU and President and Executive Director of the Desk Drawer Fund, Ms. Whitney Anderson-Harrell. Welcome, Whitney.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for joining us here today. I'm really excited about hearing about this. Every now and then I interview a guest on a topic I don't know that much about. So I've done a little bit of research to put these questions together, but I'm really excited about exploring the mission that you're on. So congratulations for getting this fund off the ground. But for those who aren't familiar with MSUFCU, can you tell us generally about the credit union services, size, locations, just some general information for us?
Absolutely. The credit union is 84 years old, which is very exciting. We're really just excited to be in a community where we have a volunteer board of directors. We are now have over 300,000 members.
Wow.
And 22 branches. And I think when you think about the amount that we've grown over this 84 years, where we actually started in a desk drawer at Michigan State University with 8 individuals and $3,000 coming together to try to make a way for other people to have access to loans and to additional dollars that they may need. And that's where the credit union really started, just around that central idea of people helping people. And we've grown, and then we've had the opportunity to start our foundation, which just started in April of 2019. And, you know, when you think about the desk drawer fund, that's where we got the name from,
yep,
because MSUFCU started in that desk drawer. And it just really kind of brings everything together where we're able to then, you know, focus in a little bit more on some specific areas for our community.
All right. So it was April of 2019 that the Desk Drawer Fund got founded. So, and you'd been open for quite a lot of years, over 80 years.
Yes.
What was it that made the credit union decide that it was time to launch the fund?
You know, we were looking at what ways we could make more of an impact in the community. And that was the first idea that came to mind. We need a foundation. Often, because of the impact that we currently have, people ask us, how can we be a part of this? We want to make a donation. And we didn't have an avenue for people to do that.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why we created the fund. One of the other reasons why we created the fund is an opportunity for our foundation to be approved by the NCUA so that people can give a donation to the foundation and become eligible at the credit union, which is a huge opportunity for us as we expand across the state of Michigan. And people are unsure if they have the right to join the credit union because the name is MSUFCU. Right. So this really helps us with our growth strategy and how we're able to continue to get the word out about the opportunity to join the credit union.
So, I mean, just sounds like a continuation of how MSUFCU got founded in the first place. Just a great idea, serving all
Yes.
people, and just an opportunity to open more avenues for people to get involved. That's fantastic. So the Desk Drawer Fund specifically, what is the mission of the fund? What are you trying to accomplish?
You know, we're really just all about helping our community. And that's the first thing that we're thinking about. We have our 5 pillars. So we have stable housing, arts and culture, financial education, fostering entrepreneurialism, and housing, stable housing. And I think I might have said that one twice. The last one's financial education.
Right on. Okay.
So we have those 5 pillars where we have our focus in just working with our communities. And it's really a focus on local communities. So we start with the focus around all of our branches and the surrounding areas. But on average, we receive between 50 and 100 requests every single week from organizations that are looking for help and looking for ways to make the community better. And we literally have a committee that sits down and looks at every single request that comes in, and we figure out how we can make it work in our community. Because the biggest thing is we just want to make an impact. And because we are a volunteer organization as well, 100% of those dollars goes right back to the community. And I think that's one of the big things that makes a huge difference. Is this is an organization that is giving back from MSUFCU, then through the foundation, right back to the communities that we serve.
So before we get too far into this, where can people learn about those pillars and the foundation in general? Is there a website, social media?
Yeah, we have a website, deskdrawerfund.org. We also have our following community that can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Just Desk Drawer Fund, or just you can search it and find it. That's fantastic. Okay. And so you talk about those pillars, and I got to tell you, financial literacy. I'm baffled. My wife and I have had this conversation a number of times. We have two sons that are just out of high school and in college, and the lack of preparation of, really teaching kids how to, balance a checkbook is almost getting to be a little bit archaic from a, the paper standpoint, but understanding finance, right? And what it takes in your own personal kind of break evens and how much money you need to make to save, and, the compounding interest and all the things, those tools are really not taught anywhere else. So there are a lot of people that are ill-equipped. So I'm grateful to hear that one of your pillars is to really try to drive financial literacy.
Yes, and that's a huge focus for the credit union as well, and that's where we partner. So we have a financial education team that goes out into the community. So far this year, they've given, despite COVID, over 1,000 presentations to over 25,000 people.
Wow.
And so when we're thinking about those things, whether it's budgeting, credit education, how to understand how to recover after COVID, all of the different things like that. We're teaching all of those classes. We're holding seminar series and just making an impact with financial literacy. And then we're also working with those organizations where they're helping other individuals, and then we're then supporting those organizations as well. And I think that's where the cool part about the foundation and how it intersects with MSUFCU.
So you mentioned all the people that come to you asking for support. Yes. Now, these are organizations that are coming to you as an organization to receive funding to help them further their mission. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
So your money, or the things that your organization vets, aren't individual needs. People don't come to you specifically and say, I need help on this. It's more another probably nonprofit that's helping a group of people, a population that has a certain need, and they need resources to continue to do their work.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why we did also start the foundation, is that we have that a little bit more centralized in terms of the decisions that we can make. So we don't typically support anyone that's one person doing something or an impact for one person, but we're looking at how can we collectively impact the community.
Right. Okay. And so being a reasonably new foundation and having people knocking on your door saying, give me money so we can keep, this mission going. How did you start the fund? Did you do a capital campaign? Is it strictly donor based? Did MSUFCU kind of put a corpus in there to begin the journey? How does the economics of that all work?
Yeah, so we had our initial donation come in from the credit union, and that's how we started. So as an organization, MSUFCU, we have always given to the community, and that's part of just our core value, our mission, and what we do. So now we're doing some of that through the foundation. So we did start there. Then we also have individuals that are donating to us. We also have organizations that have donated to us as well. And so being that we just hit our 2-year anniversary and we're really just getting started, we haven't even made a formal ask to the community yet. Mm-hmm. We're just really sharing the word, talking about what we're doing and how people can get involved. This year, we're actually going to start talking a little bit more about what does it mean to give to the Desk Drawer Fund? How can you partner with us and make an impact? What are the volunteer opportunities that are out there, and how we can all work together to make our community a better place.
And you mentioned having a volunteer board. Is that MSUFCU's board? And if so, or even if not, what about the Desk Drawer Fund? Who vets all of these people coming to you saying, can you support our cause? How's that process work?
Yes, we are governed by a separate board, although 3 of our board members for the foundation are from MSUFCU board, and then we have 2 community board members. Okay. So it's a great balance of really hearing what the credit union's needs are as well as our community, and that's what really makes us different. But we are a separate 501c3 organization, and we are governed separately, and it makes a big difference for our community.
Are there any other partners that help you fulfill your mission, or is it MSUFCU's structure plus these board members that get you going?
Yeah, that's really it. That gets us going. And we're excited about the impact that we can make across, now that we have branches open in Traverse City, we're expanding there and just, starting to get those new donation requests. One of the other things that we also encourage are the use of our community rooms. It's through MSUFCU. It's a free opportunity, but we do encourage people, if you're using our rooms, maybe you can make a donation to the foundation. Right. And that's just another one of those avenues that we have that's available for our members and for the community at large, but can make a big difference for us at the credit union.
So if I'm an organization that is providing services to the public in one of the 5 pillars, and I'm learning about this from this wonderful podcast,
yes,
and I want to reach out, you talked about the website, is there kind of an application? Is there a cycle that they need to kind of that your board meets and then vets, or is it kind of first come first serve and it's always
we are
moving forward?
Always rolling and moving forward. So
Okay.
we actually meet just our committee of individuals on a weekly basis.
Oh, wow.
So we are receiving that 50 to 100 applications in and reviewing those every single week. We do what we can to support every organization that comes in, which it may be from $100 on up, depending on what the organization is. But we work hard to make sure that it's fair and equitable for the communities that we serve.
Sure.
But it's been a lot of fun.
And I got to believe you need to vet these folks to test
yes.
legitimacy and,
Absolutely.
you're right. So is there a way to kind of measure their results? And, I know you're still pretty new, but the funds go out. Hopefully there's some sort of backstop to make sure that the program is moving forward with the funds that you give them.
Well, one of the great things that we have with our footprint in the community with MSUFCU is volunteer opportunities. So a lot of the organizations that we support may want volunteers to help run whatever the event may be or help with different things at whatever the organization is doing in the community. And financial education, just like we just talked about, is one of the pillars. One of the things that we do with many of our partners is actually provide that financial education coursework and classes for those organizations. So when you think about maybe it's the Capillary Humane Society, they may want a financial education course for their employees to learn about how to improve your credit and how to balance your accounts and things of that nature. So when you're talking about how we kind of stay in touch with everyone, we have those personal relationships. And I think that's what also in turn has those same organizations making donations back to the foundation, because they see that it's a real partnership and a real opportunity for us to improve our communities.
Well, I applaud MSUFCU generally for the reach. I mean, every board I've sat on, every networking event I've gone to, all the nonprofits and fundraisers and events, there always is a faction of MSUFCU staff present. Yes. Sharing their brains, getting involved. And so, your brand awareness is really high, but it also gives me confidence anyway, as just a resident, that what doors can be opened. And, there's probably already contacts with the folks that are knocking on your door asking for your support, that it's almost an internal vetting that happens just by your team being out there.
Yeah, and then from the flip side of that, we are looking at all the numbers as well. So looking at the impact that they're making, the use of our dollars, and depending on what that donation amount is, looking at an impact report to see what the dollars were used for and how, we may continue to support or if we may move in a different direction.
So how did you get involved in this particular in the fund itself? Clearly you were with MSUFCU, you still are as an employee of theirs, but also president, executive director. That's a whole new hat. Does that occupy all of your time, most of your time? Do you split your roles, or is this pretty much what you do going forward?
Oh, no, I split my role between a couple different things at the credit union as well as running the foundation. And I think it's always been a passion of mine, looking at how we can impact the community. At the credit union, I also oversee our diversity, equity, and inclusion, our community development, all of our corporate giving as well as our employee giving. And then our financial education departments, our business development. So as we think about some of the opportunities that we have for developing business opportunities across the state and across the U.S., opportunities with that.
Wow. All right. So quite a pedigree, quite a roster of things that are all very aligned with each other. All the different hats you wear seem very logical, and that's fantastic. Good for you. So being such a fledgling, fund, what happens next? What are your goals, say, for the next 5 years and beyond?
We're just looking to increase our impact on the community. So far in this first 2 years, we've given out just under $830,000, and we're looking to continue and increase those numbers, because the more of an impact that we can make, that only helps our community. And so we are going to start our first campaign of asking the community to get involved. We also are going to talk about the recent approval with the NCUA and that people can join the credit union, which is also an avenue for us to receive funds funds for the foundation, which makes a big difference for us.
Right. So what can people do right now to help the fund if they're inspired by this? Do you have to be a member to donate to the fund?
No, you do not have to be a member. Anyone can give a donation, and we appreciate a donation of any amount. If you are a member, we actually have lots of members who actually sign up to do automatic withdrawal. So they may give $5 every paycheck.
Okay.
And that's a cool opportunity for people to be able to get involved just right out of your own account.
That's fantastic. So remind everyone of the website again.
Our website is deskdrawerfund.org.
All right. And I'm sure there's a contact page on there. If people are interested in learning more specifically, they can get in touch with you or other people on your team to make sure that they know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, we've been speaking to the president and executive director of the Desk Drawer Fund, Whitney Anderson-Harrell. I really appreciate you coming and joining and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.